This leadership thing, it's adulting times 10. Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. Okay, so from last week's episode, you know some of the most common leadership styles. And oh, by the way, if you don't, we'll take a minute to take a peek at last week's episode. Well, next, you'll need to look at your skill set and target specific ones to grow. For instance, are you great with people, but not great with numbers? Listen, you have to understand the numbers if you want to be a solid leader. So if numbers aren't your thing, get some help. Take a course. Heck, you could even watch a YouTube video. Anything that will help you understand what you're looking at when you look at a budget. And speaking of getting help, absolutely get a good coach or mentor. Now, this could be a formal engagement with a professional business coach, or you could look to someone outside your company to be a mentor. Either are great because they bring a different perspective to the party. And in fact, even better, think about joining a mastermind. Now, a mastermind is a small group of people, usually no more than 10 or so, who have something specific in common. For instance, they may all run businesses of 15 people or less. Or maybe they all have businesses in the same city, or they've only been in business for less than a year. Now, the reason a mastermind is a great vehicle is because its sole purpose is to provide the support of your peers, brainstorm ideas, and give everyone a safe space for discussion. You should be able to unburden yourself in your mastermind. And often, you'll find that other members of the group have either gone through something similar and can offer a solution, or they have someone you should speak to or a resource you haven't thought of yet. Being with a good mastermind will really engage your leadership muscle, and it sparks your creativity. Now, my suggestion is to find a mastermind where you aren't the smartest person in the room. You know what I mean. You want to be in a mastermind group with people who have surpassed where you are, so they can give you tips on the road ahead and hopefully help you avoid some potholes. Now, another thing a mastermind is great for, and another thing you absolutely must do if you want to be a solid leader, expand your network. Just like a mastermind, a good old-fashioned network can work wonders. Actually, you could think of your network as the ultimate mastermind for connections, opportunities, and tips. Now, of course, you aren't going to spill your guts to your whole network, but under certain circumstances, and when chosen properly, reaching out to one or a few members of your network can get you massive amounts of the right help just when you need it. Need to find a new team member? Leverage your network. Need to know how someone in a different industry solved a problem? Leverage your network. Trying to find good data on how long it takes to fill a spot? Well, you get the idea. Okay, last, but absolutely not least, to become a good leader, you have to be honest with yourself. Take a good look and identify your strengths and weaknesses. In fact, why not do a self-SWOT analysis? Now, if you haven't heard of the term SWOT before, it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For your strengths, you'll take a look at and identify things you do well, qualities that separate you from other leaders, and your resources such as knowledge and experience. When looking at your weaknesses, you'll want to figure out what you may be lacking. Could be skills, could be experience, or something else. What are your resource limitations? For instance, do you have the money or time to take classes? Now, back to something a little sunnier. What opportunities exist? Do you have access to training programs or a great mentor pool? Is your team experienced working under solid guidance? Maybe you have prior experience leading a team. And finally, the threats. What could derail you? What stands in the way of achieving your goals? Are all members of your team solid? Just make a list of everything that could be an obstacle. Those are your threats. Now, I know I said the SWOT analysis was the last point, but I almost forgot the most important point: practice. In fact, you can actually practice leadership skills long before you have an official leadership role. And I bet you already have. You probably led a small team before or been the lead on a project. Well, all those opportunities were leadership practice sessions. So don't be shy about pulling on what you learned from them. And when you use some new or new to you leadership technique or strategy, pay close attention to the outcome. Did it work like a charm? Did it need a few tweaks? Was it an absolute dud? Well, then you can use that knowledge for the next time something similar comes up. And as time goes by, you'll get better and better at knowing what works and when. And then, my friend, then you're ready to knock it out of the leadership park. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.